Ever since I first watched Better Call Saul, there was one seemingly unimportant detail that always stuck with me. Mike Ehrmantraut's love of pimento cheese sandwiches. The first time we get a hint of Mike's obsession is during an episode named after the Caviar of the South, and throughout the show we see his love for the sandwich continue to grow. The pimento thing is actually a callback to another show called Breaking Bad, where we see Mike offering Jesse that same sandwich during the season 4 episode Cornered.
I brought sandwiches. Ooh. Yes, sir. Pimento cheese. How's that sound?
Anyway, the marketing team at AMC clearly took note of a huge fan response to the pimento cheese, and took advantage of it by making perhaps the single greatest piece of promotional material for a television show ever. It's simply called How to Make a Pimento Cheese Sandwich, and was published alongside several other tutorial videos featuring various characters from the show for season 5, with classics like How to Make a Taco, How to Tie a Tie, and How to Iron a Shirt. This video on how to make the iconic pimento cheese sandwich instantly made me want to try it myself, but I didn't get very far.
Buy yourself some pimento cheese and some white bread.
I can definitely buy white bread, but pimento cheese, they don't sell that stuff in my fourth world country. At least not at any of the major supermarket chains. But a tiny setback like that isn't enough to break my spirit, so I set out to make the cheese myself. I googled pimento cheese recipe and clicked on the top result. How did I end up doing? Let's find out. The ingredients needed to make pimento cheese are pretty simple, and all you have to do is basically just stir them all together in a bowl. What we need is cheddar cheese, cream cheese, mayonnaise, pimento peppers, onion powder, cayenne pepper, and garlic powder. I did have to make some compromises, mainly the pimento peppers weren't available because I live in a fifth world country, so I substituted them for these per kilo peppers that I found. I don't really know how close they are to the real deal, but I think they got the job done. Can I really call this pimento cheese when it doesn't even have the ingredient that it's named after in it? Probably not, but I'm gonna do it anyway. The recipe also suggested throwing in some jalapeno peppers to spice it up, but I chose to omit them to just get that more classic taste. Turns out it definitely would have benefited from including them, so if you're gonna make your own, I would suggest adding them. First step was to shred the cheese. I could have just bought pre-shredded, but the recipe said that it isn't as good as doing it yourself. Plus I wanted something to do other than just dumping shit in a bowl. After some trial and error, I managed to get that done, and the next step was to cut up the peppers. I ended up not using nearly enough peppers compared to the rest of the ingredients, and as a result you could barely tell they were even there. So if I were to do this again, I'd definitely double the amount I had at least. Then I needed to scoop out a bunch of cream cheese, and I was ready to chuck everything in the bowl. In terms of the quantities of each ingredient, I was just kinda eyeballing it based on the photo they had on the recipe page. I think I did fine overall, but like I said previously, it definitely needed more peppers, plus some extra spices wouldn't have hurt. Lastly, I mixed it all up and I was done. Not exactly the most pleasing presentation in the world, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for how it tastes, and I was eager to find out. As per Mike's instructions, I took 2 slices of bread, spread the correct amount of cheese, closed, and I was done. Finally, I was at the moment of truth, the taste test. So my review of the pimento cheese, or at least the sorry imitation that I made, is that it's really good. I'm already a big cheese fan, and this was kinda just an ultra cheesy cheese, with a bit of extra tanginess. Like I said earlier, the peppers were very subtle, and if it had that extra jalapeno, it would have for sure left a more lasting impression. For shits and giggles, I made another one and chucked it in the sandwich press, which made the cheese supremely gooey and even more delicious. I didn't get any footage of it though because I'm an idiot. There's nothing wrong with Mike's more minimalist approach, but if you're gonna make your own pimento sandwich, I definitely recommend toasting it. I hope you all enjoyed this educational video, and if you have any suggestions for other food related videos I could do, then be sure to let me know in the comments. Maybe I could take a crack at Lalo's Taco. Thanks for watching, and now back to our standard programming.